You've been taught to believe that your mind is something confined to your brain, a function locked inside the biological structure of your skull, processing information from the outside world like a machine. But that belief is not only outdated, it is fundamentally false. In reality, your mind is not local. It is not contained. It is not limited to the boundaries of your body. Your mind exists as an energy field intricately woven into the fabric of the quantum field that permeates everything. Right now, as you listen to these words, your mind is extending beyond your skin, beyond your environment, beyond even the space-time continuum you believe you are inhabiting. This is not poetic metaphor. It is the unavoidable conclusion of modern quantum physics and advanced neuroscience. For decades, experiments in quantum entanglement have proven that particles can influence each other instantaneously over vast distances with no physical connection. What happens to one happens to the other, not because of proximity, but because of connection in the field. Your consciousness operates in the same way. It is not a byproduct of your brain. It is a participant in the quantum web of reality. Think about what this really means. It means that your mind is not passively observing a pre-existing external world. It is actively participating in creating it. The reality you perceive as out there is not a static objective truth. It is a simulation, an internal construction based on the interaction between your consciousness and the infinite potentialities of the quantum field. Neuroscience confirms this. Your brain does not record reality like a camera. It does not receive pure sensory input from an independent world and store it like data on a hard drive. Instead, it assembles an internal model of reality, a simulation, using a mixture of past experiences, memories, expectations, and emotional conditioning. You don't perceive what is real. You perceive what your brain predicts will be real-based on your subconscious programming. And yet, most people walk through life completely unaware of this. They believe their experience of reality is objective, inevitable, out of their control. They believe they are simply reacting to the world, never realizing that the world they think they are reacting to is, in large part, a reflection of their own unconscious projections. Their mind is creating the very circumstances they believe they are trapped within. This is why your mind is not only non-local, it is also creative. You are not a passive observer of your circumstances. You are a participant in their creation. Your thoughts, your emotional states, your expectations, all of these are signals emitted into the quantum field, interacting with the infinite possibilities that exist there, collapsing some of them into the specific reality you experience. In other words, your mind is not located in your brain, reacting to an external world. Your mind is part of the quantum field, and through your focus, your belief, your attention, it is shaping the very fabric of the world you experience. The implications of this are staggering. It means that you are already influencing events, situations, relationships, and outcomes far beyond what you can physically see or touch. Your influence is not restricted by time, by distance, or by conventional causality. It also means that you are in many ways already living in multiple realities simultaneously. Each version of you, each potential outcome already exists as a possibility within the quantum field. The version of you who is thriving, abundant, fulfilled, deeply in love, spiritually awakened. That version is not some distant future fantasy. It is a real tangible potential that your mind can align with, access, and ultimately collapse into your lived experience. But there is a catch. Most people do not realize this, and as a result, they live in default mode. They repeat the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and reinforce the same expectations day after day, year after year. And so they keep collapsing the same version of reality over and over, not because that is the only reality available to them, but because it is the only one they are tuned into. This is the loop. You think you are reacting to reality, but in truth, you are reacting to your own projected simulation of reality, which you created unconsciously based on past programming. And in doing so, you reinforce the same patterns, the same outcomes, the same limitations. But what if you could break the loop? What if you could step out of the automatic, unconscious projection and start creating reality intentionally? What if you could stop perceiving your mind as a passive receiver and start recognizing it as an active transmitter, a creative force capable of influencing events across multiple realities? That is what this video is about. Because once you understand that your mind is not local, that it is not confined to your body or limited by physical proximity, you can begin to work with it in an entirely different way. You can begin to create quantum events, specific intentional shifts in the quantum field that collapse possibilities in your favor, that draw experiences, people, opportunities, and outcomes into your reality in ways that defy conventional logic and causality. But before we get to that practice, you need to fully grasp this truth. Your mind is not in your body. It is not a slave to your circumstances. It is a powerful creative participant in the field of infinite potential. And right now, in this very moment, it is shaping your reality, whether you realize it or not. So the real question is not whether your mind can influence reality. It is how will you choose to use it. In the next section, we'll go deeper into exactly how your mind is already creating realities, even when you're unaware of it, and how you can take conscious control of that process. Most people live their entire lives believing that reality is something that happens to them, that circumstances, relationships, opportunities, and obstacles are all part of an external world independent of their internal states. But the truth, one that few are ready to fully accept, is that reality is not an independent force acting upon you. It is a mirror, a projection, a feedback loop that continuously responds to the energetic signals you are emitting both consciously and unconsciously. Right now, without any deliberate effort, your mind is shaping your reality in real time. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold emits a subtle frequency into the quantum field, a vibrational blueprint that influences which of the infinite possible outcomes available within the field become your experienced reality. Your subconscious mind plays a central role in this process. While your conscious mind, the part of you that reasons, plans, sets goals, occupies only about 5% of your cognitive activity. Your subconscious is running the show, dictating approximately 95% of your perceptions, behaviors, and choices. And it does this based not on your conscious desires, but on your deeply ingrained patterns, your habitual thoughts, your emotional set points, your limiting beliefs, and your conditioned responses. So when you say you want to change your life, to attract more abundance, to experience deeper love, to find purpose, but you continue to operate from the same subconscious programming, you inevitably create the same reality. Not because you don't deserve change, but because your internal signal hasn't shifted. The field is not personal. It is precise. It doesn't give you what you say you want. It mirrors who you are. This is why so many people feel stuck, trapped in cycles that seem to repeat endlessly. The same kinds of relationships, the same financial struggles, the same emotional wounds resurfacing in different forms. They believe these cycles are imposed by fate, bad luck, or external circumstances beyond their control. But in truth, these cycles are self-generated patterns, reflections of the subconscious programs running beneath their conscious awareness. Neuroscience has shown that your brain does not distinguish between what is happening in your external environment and what is vividly imagined. To your nervous system, a strongly held belief or an intensely felt emotion is as real as any external stimulus. This means that your body responds to your internal states as if they are actual events, and in turn, these states shape the energetic signal you emit into the quantum field. Consider this. If you habitually feel anxious, unworthy, or powerless, your body will exist in a state of physiological stress. That state becomes your baseline frequency, and from that frequency, you unconsciously emit signals that draw experiences into your life that match those internal states, not as punishment, but as feedback, as an opportunity to become conscious of the pattern and to choose differently. This is why your mind is always creating whether you are aware of it or not. Every moment you are broadcasting a frequency and collapsing certain possibilities into form while leaving others in the realm of potential. You are living in what some call a personal universe, a unique intersection of the quantum field shaped by your internal states. It's important to understand that this is not about blame or self-judgment. You are not at fault for the patterns you inherited from your family, your culture, your past experiences, but you are responsible for whether you continue to unconsciously recreate those patterns or begin the process of conscious creation. The first step in that process is awareness. To recognize that your reality is not fixed or predetermined, but fluid, dynamic, and responsive to your internal state. The field does not care about your conscious affirmations or your well-intentioned goals unless they are supported by an aligned, emotional, and energetic free.